Welcome back to the Art of Investing. It's August 29th, 2025. Today we're going to talk about economic data reports from this week and also the earning reports for Nvidia and two other stocks, PayPal and Alibaba. Let's start. Let's start with the economic data report for this week. First indicator was PCE or personal consumption expenditure, which was reported and was showing a little higher compared to the last month. This is kind of like the main factor in the inflation rate. And in this diagram, you can see that they kind of like following each other. When the PCE goes up, we're gonna expect that the inflation is gonna increase. Also, there was report on the single family house sold. The orange shows the number of the house sold, and like the purple line shows the uh, price factor in that. And you can see like from 2020, there was a jump in the prices. There was we all felt of the jump in the price of the houses. The number of the house was jumped and then went to the steady level. Comparing to the 2008 when there was a very large number of the houses was selling and the price was going up and then the crash happened. Still, the number of the houses is not very high in the sold, but we can see definitely the price factor is in a high. Weekly report on the S&P 500. Again, we were seeing the similar to last week. The technology was slowing down. There were some area which was still growing, but some other areas which was slowing down. There were in the financial sector, we were seeing still growing up. This is the monthly S&P 500. You can see some stocks like Google and Apple were showing high jumps in their value. Microsoft and Nvidia was slowing down. And looking to the yearly performance of different sectors, you can see that like during the last year, healthcare is still down compared to the other sectors which was growing up. And looking to the 5-year performance of different sectors for S&P 500, we can see that S&P 500 was grown about like 84%, and different sectors were growing in different rates. Real estate was very slow. We know after the COVID, it was kind of like slowing down on that, and that was the reason it was only 15%. The highest was energy. Usually, I don't invest in the energy sectors and energy stocks. I will explain more later. Technology was growing very fast and it was very good. Healthcare was slow, and but we expected it to catch up with the other sectors. And that's kind of like the summary of the growth in these 5 years. Let's talk about one of the earning report for this week, Nvidia. You may have heard about Nvidia for last 2 years. It's actually a very fast growing company because of the AI development. They are selling about 90% of all AI software and hardware to companies like big companies like Google, Meta, and other companies. And you can see these diagrams are from Guru Focus. You can see how the earning, fast growing earning, they have fast growing free cash flow. They get a lot of money on their sales of and these chips, and it's also kind of like a factor of the AI development and growth of AI in different areas. The price for that was $174. The discounted cash flow or intrinsic value or estimated value is very high at about 600. We expect that still this goes higher. And also, when we buy the stocks, we also notice we try to buy when there is a drop, that one we buy it, and kind of like we find it a place to give a fair value. But anyway, if you get it lower than the estimated value or the discounted cash flow value or intrinsic value, you're gonna be okay. It's gonna anyway goes up. It's not gonna go straight up, but it's gonna go up and down. And you can see other factors of this company, all green, everything is good, and they are growing very well. in this area. Let's talk about Alibaba as well. You may know Alibaba is similar to Amazon in China. They are developing and they are growing also in the AI. They have a very good uh, selling factor and the earning reports on that one. I have bought actually Alibaba, I think in the low level in 2023. They were not very growing fast during this time because of the China's restriction in different areas. But recently they are kind of like developing in different areas and the earning is catching up, the cash income. But when we look to different factors, even the business mode, and they have a good advantages in the business mode, some of the other factors still needs to grow better. Like the revenue and the cash income is not growing as we like, and I think it's gonna be the time it's gonna be growing better and we're gonna be able to invest in that. At this time, it doesn't show very good factors of growth in all areas. Now we talk about PayPal. You may have heard about PayPal. There was a big drop actually in 2022 in the PayPal. It was very overpriced at the time. It was a drop. I was actually investing after the drop because the selling price at this time is lower than the intrinsic value or estimated value for the price of this stock. It's a good stock, but it has a competition. I usually try to go to the business mode or uh, the business advantage of more than 8, but they have about 7. And the revenue is growing very well. Like the revenue is growing higher, the cash flow is catching up with that. Other factors are very good, but still the competition is something that they need to grow as well. But it's a good stock. It has a good factors of different areas, and it shows a very good area of the development. Okay, with these stocks, I want to wrap up the video for this week. I hope your investment flourish. We'll see you next week.